At all times, in those hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle. It's be a very bumpy ride out there. I know it'd be a good time to get those phones or cameras out. Anything you want to take pictures with. We should be waiting right over here until the reserve board gives us the all clear. Now, how many of you it's your first time actually out here on the reserve? Raise your hand if first time out here. I do for us as safari drivers. Kind of brag to one another. We'll find them out there. Also over here in the interior forest, you'll find rhinos and the okapi. There's just like the height flushes in between some of the bushes and the shrubbery over here. Over there on your right hand side will be one of the okapis. Okapis are actually a close relative of the giraffe, mainly because the males will have a horn-like structure known as oscones on top of their forehead, as well as a prehensile tongue just like the giraffe. The striping patterns on their legs are a form of camouflage, blend with light that enters their thick and dense forest they usually live in. And they're thought to be a myth for the longest time, mainly because we only recently discovered them within the last about 100 years or so. Females of that species are actually a little bit larger than males, weighing in at about 700 pounds or so, while the males they'll tend to weigh about 500 to 600 pounds. Now there's also going to be, it looks like a nest from some of the saddle-bill storks, and the storks are going to be over here on your left-hand side. The saddle-bill storks, they get their names saddle on their bill. The range in height anywhere up to about 5 to 6 feet tall, about the same height you're sitting at right now. The wingspan is anywhere up to about 7 to 8 feet, and one of few birds that won't make any vocalizations, so they make a chattering noise with their bill. That's the main way of communicating. There's also going to be some rhinos. They're hanging out over here, also on our left-hand side. Now, these will be some of the black rhinos. They range in weight anywhere up to about 2,000 to 3,000 pounds. They're at high speeds, about 20 to 25 miles per hour. Unfortunately, they're being poached for their horns made out of keratin, same material made out of your fingernails. Now, a group of rhinos is going to be referred to as a crasher rhinos, just because they're one of the best eyesight, and they're known to crash into things. Here in the reserve, they're more likely to just be in the middle of the road, not knowing that they're in the middle of the road because they're poor eyesight. Now we're going to go see if we can try and find some of the bongos and the greater kudus over here. The bongos, though, are actually known as the ghost of the forest. That's how elusive they are. We only recently discovered the bongos, though, within the last about 50 to 60 years. They're going to be the orange animals with horns coming up over here on our left-hand side. Both male and females will have horns. The males are just a little bit darker in coloration. Let's be one of the females right now. Just munching on the grasses over there on your left-hand side. We're going to be exiting the interior forest and making our way over towards the Safi River area. Hopefully that'll find some aquatic animals in the next area over here. We should find some hippos, Nile crocodiles, as well as pink-backed pelicans over here. We'll be able to see some of the pink-backed pelicans. They're going to be kind of shortly over here on our right-hand side. You get their name because they usually have a pink-back during mating season. Both the males and females come to take care of the nest together, and they usually like nice, quiet, good place to build them. The wingspan is anywhere between about 8 to 9 feet. Also, usually we'll find some hippos in these waterways, though, over here. Hippos do spend most of the day in the water. They can actually hold their breath for about 8 minutes or so. A group of hippos is referred to as a bloat or a raft of hippos. Their sweat is red and sometimes give their skin a little bit of a pink pigmentation. Also works as an actual sunscreen with that. Now they can move at high speeds in and out of the water, about 20 to 25 miles per hour. I'd say the most graceful swimmers, they just bounce around at the bottom of the water as main point motion. And as they bounce around at the bottom of the water, they really just walk in the water when actually swimming. They range in weight though anywhere between about 3,000 to 4,000 pounds in male hippos. They can sometimes approach the 5,000 pound range. Sometimes like we near these waterfalls that we'll have. Unfortunately, we'd be just a little too deep in the waterways over here to get a good view of them today. I think we'll get at least a better view of the Nile crocodiles though, hanging out over here on our left-hand side. Nile crocodiles are extremely strong bite force, can break through boats. Weight and size anywhere between about 10 to 15 feet long, and weigh about 500 pounds or so. The crocodiles over here. Fish in their diet, and nearly almost any animal that enters their waters. Also animals the size of zebras or wildebeest. And now we're making our way over towards the savannah. Hopefully we'll find some zebras and wildebeest. Before we make our way onto the savannah though, there's a tree coming shortly over here on our right hand side that we recognize, known as the baobab tree. It's also referred to as the upside down tree or the tree of life. And it gets those names mainly because it goes 9 months out of the year without having any leaves. It can also store up to about 30,000 gallons of water inside of their trunk. Now we're going to slowly start making our way down this hill and onto the savannah. Now here on the savannah, almost every single animal play an important role to the ecosystem. The elephants will be known as the bulldozers, coming knocking down decaying trees, while the giraffes become the healthy ones. And the antelope, zebra, gazelle, and wildebeest alive from the grasses and the shrubbery over here. I already saw some zebras, giraffes, and some springbok looks like moving around out here. Try and get a better view of them. The springboks are going to be unfortunately hiding. Those are going to be the smaller animals in between that small clearing over there on your right hand side. You might be able to see also the backside of one of the zebras. But the springboks, they can move at high speeds, about 50 to 55 miles per hour, jump about 6 to 8 feet straight up into the air and 13 feet across. And because they're great athleticism, some sports teams will actually have the springbok as their mascot. There's an interesting ridge on their back that raise up, luring the rest of the herd if there's danger nearby for them. Now, the giraffes are going to be kind of in between some of the trees over here on our right-hand side. A group of giraffes is going to be referred to as a tower of giraffes. That's how tall they are. Range in height anywhere between about 14 to 16 feet tall. They have those horn-like structures known as oscones on top of their forehead, as well as a prehensile tongue, just like the okapi that we saw earlier. They use their tongue for a similar purpose, trying to grab leaves off the tall trees over here. Tongues are actually over a foot long, and they're going to be blue and sunburn on them. Now, all the giraffes that we'll see out here are all going to be Maasai giraffes. They have a little bit of an irregular patterning to them. Compared to the reticulated giraffe that you might be able to see over the Animal Kingdom Lodge. Pattern reminds me more of like a paint swatchy pattern. Compared to the reticulated giraffe's more geometric shape pattern. And the patterns are so unique, it's almost like the equivalent of our fingerprints, but to identify one of the parts of them. Now, over here on our left-hand side will be some of the painted dogs. Painted dogs will actually hunt in packs, anywhere between about 5 to 15 of them. Best hunting rates on the reserve. Their hunting success rate is actually close to about 80%. If it gives you any indication, lions only about 20 to 25% successful on their hunts, which means these guys are actually over 3 times more likely to get something in comparison to a lion when hunting. Females be the leaders of their hunting parties as well as their packs, and compared to the canines, they actually have 4 toes compared to normal 5. And their scientific name is actually Canis pictus, which means painted wolf. Now, some other animals coming up over here on our left-hand side. It looks like there's going to be some giraffes and some sable antelopes. The sable antelopes, they can defend themselves from lions by charging a lion, or if a lion jumps out of the back, they just arch neck to defend themselves with those curved horns. Males will be black or sable coloration. Females tend to be dark brown coloration. Go back to the giraffes though. Baby giraffes, when they're first born, they can actually be anywhere between about 6 to 7 feet tall. So fall about that similar height, and they're just moving around though within the first hour of life. They can surprisingly move at high speeds, about 30 miles per hour. Now also over here on our right and left hand side will be some termite mounds, be as strong as concrete, and they're just made of dirt termites. A lot of the animals on the reserve, they'll commonly use them as a scratching post, but anywhere between about 10 to 15 feet tall. Now, some other animals hanging out between the giraffes coming up over here on our left-hand side would be the Ankole cattle. Their massive horns be anywhere to about 3 to 4 feet long. They have a bone-shaped structure on the interior of them, which makes them surprisingly light. It also helps them thermoregulate as well. Those massive horns all together, they only weigh about 5 pounds or so. Also be known as Watusi cattle, first domesticated and discovered by the Watusi tribe in Africa. I want to go see, it looks like an eland. It's going to be coming up over here on our left-hand side, just hanging out in the shade. With elands, they can actually jump about 6 to 8 feet straight up into the air. They have a dewlap on their neck, an extra skin flap that helps them thermoregulate. Both male and female elands will actually have a twist in their horns. They're one of the biggest antelope species in the world, bigger than the wildebeest, the greater kudu, as well as the bongos. Male elands will try and grab twigs, branches, leaves, plants, anything they can really find. Try to intertwine them in between their horns as a mating display for the females. I'll try and get a little bit better view of the eland hanging out over here on the left-hand side. Munching on some food. Also be able to see another Ankole cattle. Looks like coming up over here on our right-hand side, and then we'll be able to see it looks like some wildebeest. The wildebeest, a group of them, is going to be referred to as a confusion of wildebeest, so easy it is to startle or confuse them. They make a migration known as the Great Migration, migrating about 500 to 1,000 miles. About 1.5 million wildebeest and other animals on the reserve will make that similar migration. And in Dutch Afrikaans, their names mean wild beast. One of the first names that they actually had was new, referring to the grunting noise that they would make, so they're called Nunus. Instead of seeing another eland and another Ankole cattle, just hanging out over here on the right-hand side. And we're going to slowly start making our way probably over towards the next part of the savannah. We'll be able to find some other species of animals over there. Sometimes they'll be able to find some elephants and monkeys up ahead. I think we'll also be able to see a couple more giraffes coming up shortly over here on our right-hand side, just trying to munch on some of the bushes over here. We're usually able to find, though, the elephants somewhere over here on our right-hand side, while the monkeys usually tend to be somewhere on our left-hand side over here. Make our way over towards the next area. It's because actually the elephants will take a bridge to make their way between the two different areas that we do have for them.
Yeah, he was behind the tree.
Also, I do set a lot of food for these elephants every single day. Each elephant will eat about 300 pounds worth of food per day per elephant. Could be also what we're doing. Never mind, there is one of them finally over there on your right hand side. African elephants are unfortunately being poached for their tusks made out of ivory. One thing that people are doing, trying to help them out though, is flooding the market with fake ivory from a nut called a tagua nut. This nut, whatever you carve into it, looks identical to ivory. You actually would embed the DNA of the African elephant as well into it. So doing a lot of damage to the trade, but helping out a lot of elephants out in the process. Elephants are extremely strong creatures. They actually have more muscles inside their trunk than we do in our whole entire body. We have about 600 muscles inside our body. They have over 40,000 muscles just inside their trunk. I'm going to go see if we can try and find a couple other elephants though. So elephants are extremely smart creatures. They can solve complex puzzles as well as work as a team together. And the gestation period for the African elephant is actually close to 2 years. It's about 22 months for these creatures. Over here on our right-hand side, there will be some test marks in mineral deposit. Elephants probably being those eating those vitamins and minerals. Like how we eat a P vitamin. And we're able to find the rest of the herd of these elephants somewhere over here on our left-hand side. These elephants will commonly throw dirt, debris, mud, and clay on top of themselves as a way of cooling down on a hot day. Another thing they'll do as a way of cooling down is just flapping their large ears. The ears are very thin with a lot of veins. Every single time they flap them, cools down the ears. Blood recirculates to the rest of the body, cooling the body down by about 15 degrees or so. One thing that scientists have discovered by studying these elephants is they found out they're extremely afraid of bees. So a lot of farmers in Africa found they create a beehive fence line, where the beehives are going to wander near the fences. Next time the elephant gets here and away thanks to the bees, and the farms keep their land nice and safe with the honey for the bees as well. Also over here on your right and left hand side will be a couple other baobab trees. Elephants will sometimes try and puncture them with their tusks to try and get to their water source. Our elephants, they'll commonly just use them like a scratching post though, like the rest of the animals out here on the reserve. I saw some other elephants. They might be near the flamingo area, otherwise they're a little bit too far back to really get a good view of them at the moment. Right now, most of them are kind of hiding in the shade, just a little bit past the small hill straight ahead. I can just barely see a couple other elephants. There are going to be some greater flamingos coming up shortly over here on our left-hand side. A group of flamingos is what we refer to as a flamboyance of flamingos. Currently, we filter feeders and we'll try and eat those brine shrimp, which is beta carotene, which is a pink colored shrimp. See any grayer flamingos or some of the younger ones that go through tough stages of molting before they get their adulthood in. Now, see those same pink colorations of parents they eat the same food.
Ducks.
Have you seen any flamingos that have one foot up in the air? Those scientists are still trying to see what we're trying to do. One of the main theories is a form of conserving energy by having one foot up in the air. There's going to be one last area that we might be able to see some elephants. There's going to be a very small clearing over here on our left-hand side where there's sometimes like hiding in the sun. See, over here on your left. And just barely see the little one actually. It's hiding back there. Usually in this next part of the savannah, though, we're able to find some rhinos, cheetahs, ostriches, lions, and a couple other animals we walking around over here. Over there on your left-hand side will just be a mud wall over that the white rhinos use as a way of cooling down in the hot day. Has a natural sunscreen and also deter a lot of pests, parasites, and insects really for messing with them. Not too many animals really want to mess with the rhinos, mainly because their hide is about 2 inches thick. I see one of them just walking around over there on your right-hand side. The rhinos, the range in weight anywhere between about 4,000 to 5,000 pounds for the white rhinos, about twice the size of a black rhino. Move at similar speeds, about 20 to 25 miles per hour. Unfortunately, they are being poached for the same reason, so those horns made out of keratin. Again, same material made out of fingernails. White rhinos are just more likely to form a group of rhinos in comparison to black rhinos. Black rhinos are just known to be more of a solitary rhino species, usually keep by themselves. Be able to find some cheetahs though in this next area over here. You'll see just relaxing next to some trees over here on your left hand side. Cheetahs are going to be one of the fastest land animals in the world, bringing high speeds about 60 miles per hour. Unlike other cats, their claws won't retract, but actually help them dig into the ground and move at their high speeds. Really daytime hunters, kind of odd because most cats are usually nighttime hunters. Do have structures on their face, kind of like face paint. It's form of natural sunglasses to block out sun glare and sun damage spent their eyes. Do a couple other ones moving around as well over here on our left hand side. Chirp as the main way of communicating. Most of the larger cats are just roar and chirp as the main way of communicating. Baby cheetahs will almost fellow honey badgers, turning most of the animals from messing with them when they're younger. And just please remain seated, friends. Just please remain seated. Now we just want to find some lions though in the next section over here. Sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge to find them just because they actually sleep the majority of the day, anywhere to 16 to 20 hours almost every single day. You'll see a female lion kneeling down over here in the shade on our left hand side.
Cool.
A group of lions though is going to be referred to as a pride of lions. Female lions will do most of the hunting and they'll primarily do that at nighttime. Hunting success rate is about 20 to 25%. Many of you have seen the movie The Lion King though. Simba's name in Swahili actually means lion, so any lion that you do see is technically a Simba. Also, Nala's name in Swahili means gift. Rafiki's name means friend. Mufasa's name actually means king. And there might be a reason why Scar might be angry, because Scar's name is Taka, which means trash. Now, the lions, they do tend to roar though early on in the morning, claiming their territory from all the other animals out here on the reserve. The roar can actually be heard for about 5 to 10 miles away. Now, it looks like we'll also be able to see the male lion be laying down over here on their left-hand side. See the female lion though again in between the trees. And the male lion just going to be laying on top of these rocks over here. We're also going to go see if we can try to find maybe some of the warthogs though in this next area over here. Just don't call a warthog though a Pumbaa, because Pumbaa's name in Swahili means fool. Warthogs will have 2 sets of tusks. One says extremely sharp, made for defense. The other says made for digging out these burrows over here. Now the comic go in reverse to make it a lot easier to in and out of them, as well as defend them away from predators. Now I do see some ostriches and actually some of their eggs up ahead. We're going to try and get a better view of them and possibly able to get a better view of also the warthogs. There's also going to be some water bugs near the ostriches. Water bugs, they get their name because they usually are near water, consume a lot of water, and have a semi-waterproof coating. The waterproof coating is extremely smelly. It turns a lot of the predators away. It's be one of the female water bugs because they don't have any horns. For the ostriches, they'd be one of the fastest 2-legged animals in the world, running at high speeds, about 40 miles per hour. As they can't fly, they use their wings to like rudders to be able to turn at high speeds. The warthogs will be laying down over here on your left-hand side, and you'll be able to see the ostrich eggs just behind some of the ostriches over here on your right. Ostrich eggs would be the equivalent of about 2 dozen chicken eggs. Somebody can stand on top of an ostrich egg without breaking them.
Where's the warthog?
Because ostriches weigh about 200 pounds. They're going to be nesters solely on top of those eggs themselves. Now we're going to start making our way over towards the warden's outpost, though, to go see what the warden has in the next area over here. The warden will have some goats. These will be Nigerian dwarf goats, be the second smallest goat species in the world. They're all full adults, as big as they will get. A lot of farmers commonly have them thanks to their small size, pretty to take care of, and they produce good milk as well. We're going to be slowly exiting the reserve. Just unfortunately go on with one final thing. Almost every single animal we saw here today is unfortunately endangered, either because of habitat loss or destruction, or because of poaching. What they can do to help out these animals, just spread the information. Let's talk about them today. Another thing you can always do is join the conservation funds out there, help these animals out individually. I think I've actually done though here today in Animal Kingdom, help out some endangered animals. We're going to get some specialty drinks or Starbucks here at Animal Kingdom. So the proceeds goes up for the endangered monkeys that are right across the way from that Starbucks. Also, if any of you are planning on getting an alcoholic beverage later today that has vodka in it, it's made with snow leopard vodka, which goes up for snow leopards. Also, back in the village, there is a wine known as painted dog wine that goes up for the active painted wild dogs. Folks are not about your local animals or your local ecosystems out. Recommend just planting small plants, creating a garden, creating birdhouses or bath boxes, and do a lot to help out your local animals, your local ecosystems. Recommend wilderness explorers out there riding on the Simba one. Now, if you want to go see some other animals out there today, I'd also recommend going over to Gorilla Falls. Find some gorillas, some meerkats, a whole bunch of other African animals hanging out over there. Really, the Nigerian dwarf goats, there's a whole petting zoo filled with them over at Rafiki Spider Watch. Take a train over there to go see them, see some mammals, reptiles, amphibians, take a Disney drawing class, and possibly see a veterinary procedure over there. Want to go see some tigers? There's always the Maharaja Jungle Trek over in Asia to go see some tigers, tomorrow dragons, and a lot of different species of bats. Just please remain seated. It's been a complete stop over the stop, but I hope you all have a great rest of your day here at Animal Kingdom. Put your hands, arms, feet, and legs. Doors are inside opening. You all have a great one.